Let's be real. We all have one. That one moment, that single mistake, that cringy thing we did that we wish we could just reach back and erase. It's the ultimate fantasy, right? A chance to get a do-over, to silence that little ghost from our past. But what's the real cost of getting exactly what you wish for? Let's dive in and find out.
No, really, just think about it for a second. If you had a time machine in one shot, just one, to go back and change something, what would it be? That exam you bombed, that awful argument, that one big opportunity you totally let slip through your fingers?
It's a totally universal feeling, isn't it? That nagging little voice that says, you know, if I could just correct that one single thing, everything else would just click into place. But what if fixing the past isn't like photoshopping a little blemish? What if it's more like pulling on a loose thread that unravels, well, everything? Okay, so this brings us to the actual hard science of it all. Thanks to Einstein and his theory of relativity, we know that traveling into the future, it's not just science fiction. I mean, astronauts experience it on a tiny scale because of time dilation. But traveling to the past? Oh boy, that's where physics just hits a massive wall of paradoxes. And it's that disastrous territory that we are going to explore today.
So, let's just imagine the machine is real. It's sitting in your garage. But it wasn't built for some grand mission to see the dinosaurs. Nope. Its purpose is much, much more personal. It's designed to give you the ultimate undo button for your life's biggest regret.
And that's the appeal, isn't it? It's so seductive. We look at our past like it's a garden, and that one mistake is just a single ugly weed. And we think, I can just pluck it out, you know? Real clean, without disturbing any of the beautiful flowers growing around it. It feels so surgical, precise, harmless.
This is the story we tell ourselves. The mission feels noble, right? Almost therapeutic. You're not meddling with history, you're healing. You step into that machine absolutely confident that you're about to make your life whole again. But this, my friends, is where the trouble really begins. So we hit our first and most immediate consequence. And forget the old grandfather paradox you've heard about. This is something far more intimate and way more devastating. So let's just walk through this. You jump back, you absolutely nail that interview you bombed a decade ago. Success. You've got the career you always dreamed of. You come back to the present, all ready for your new, improved life. But your spouse, the person you married, they have no idea who you are. See, you only met them because you were so bummed out after failing that interview that you ducked into some random coffee shop. In this new reality, they just walk right past you, a total stranger. And your kids? They don't exist. They were never even born.
And this is the absolute heart of the problem. Our lives aren't some neat stack of separate events. They're a Jenga tower. Every single piece, the good, the bad, the ugly, it all supports what comes next. You thought you were just carefully nudging one little block back into place, but what you actually did was bring the whole thing crashing down around you.
In the end, your attempt to patch a tiny crack in the foundation of your past has completely shattered the present you were trying so hard to perfect. The very pain you tried to erase was the thing that led you to the greatest joys you ever had.
Okay, so your personal life is in absolute ruins. The natural impulse is to think, okay, that was too big. I need to be more careful. I'll make a smaller change this time. But this is what leads to our second consequence, where the stakes escalate from a personal tragedy to, well, a global catastrophe.
You've heard of the butterfly effect, right? It's a famous concept, but it is terrifying when you think about it in practice. You drop one tiny pebble, a seemingly harmless little change, into the massive lake of time. You see the first little ripple, sure, but you have absolutely no idea how far those waves will travel or what they're going to destroy along the way.
Just look at this. Let's say your small change is just going back to prevent a bad investment. In the original timeline, that company failed. It laid off a brilliant engineer, who then went on to invent some revolutionary water purification technology that saved millions of lives. But in your fixed timeline, hey, you saved a few $1,000. The company survives. And that engineer? She never gets laid off, she never meets her research partner, and that life-saving tech is never, ever invented.
And that's the staggering arrogance of it, isn't it? You're literally yanking on a single thread in this infinite, complex tapestry of human history, and you're completely blind to what beautiful, essential part of the picture you might be destroying in the process.
So at this point, you've wrecked your own life and you've accidentally damaged the world. Your mission now is just this desperate scramble to fix your fixes. And this brings us to the final, and honestly, maybe the most terrifying consequence of all. What this does to your own mind.
To control all this chaos, you have to completely detach yourself from the timeline. You can no longer afford the luxury of just living.
your entire existence, it just becomes this cold, technical exercise. You're not making memories anymore, you're debugging code. Your life is just an endless scroll of alternate timelines as you try to find that one perfect sequence of events.
And then, suddenly, every normal human impulse becomes a huge danger. A spontaneous laugh, a moment of real empathy with someone, an unplanned conversation, each one is a new variable that could corrupt the timeline all over again. To maintain control, you have to start systematically stripping away your own humanity.
This leads to a state we can call temporal detachment. You remember the exact sequence of events that led you to falling in love, but you can't feel the warmth of that memory anymore. It's just data. You become a ghost in your own story, a cold observer of a life that you can manipulate but never, ever truly experience. And this brings us to the really tragic finale of our cautionary tale. Because after who knows how many jumps, you finally, somehow, manage to piece it all back together. You return to a present that, well, it looks right. Your family's back, the world seems stable, the mistake is gone. From the outside, your life looks absolutely perfect. But you know the truth. You are an actor playing a role you wrote for yourself. You're a total stranger in a life you meticulously constructed from spare parts.
And this is the ultimate brutal price. You did it. You achieved every external goal, the mistake is fixed, your family's there, your career is a success. But your reality, it's completely hollow. You are utterly and totally alone, a prisoner in the perfect world you built for yourself.
The people around you, they love a version of you that actually lived those moments, that failed and cried and learned and grew. That person, that's not you anymore. You are a phantom in your own home, a stranger to the very people you love most.
So, I'll leave you with this one last question. Knowing the full potential cost, the shattering of your reality, the unraveling of society, and the loss of your own soul, would you still be tempted? Would you still press that button?